Broadcasting from the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
Welcome back to Sports Up. How you guys doing? Kate, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day.
It's nice outside.
Not to quote you two, but it is a beautiful day. It's October and
it's like 83 degrees out.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on.
I don't understand either, but I'm sort of okay with the weather.
I'm okay with it solely because, let's be real. I want to push off the cold as much as possible.
I know.
I love the cold, don't get me wrong, but
Oh, I know, because I've heard it's supposed to be a really crappy winter this year, so
yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that.
No.
I'm
really not looking forward to, a bad winter. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. Cause
I can't deal with a bad winter. I mean, I have a truck now, which is great, but not in the mood. But this warm weather is really, really nice for some playoff baseball.
Oh, it is, because
it really is.
I mean, you and I both love baseball, but
fanatics.
We're crazy.
Absolute fanatics.
Let's start off with the Cubs and the Dodgers series. It looked like the Cubs were going to lock it up.
You're going to start off with the heartbreak first. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. It's totally okay. We
I know.
can start off with that.
We'll start off with the heartbreak because I'm not a huge LA Dodgers fan.
Yeah, neither am I.
Never have. Probably never will. I do like the Cubs, but my thing is, I feel it looked like they were going to lock up the series.
Oh, yeah. I thought this was going to be a nice little, sweep, too.
I thought this was going to be a sweep. I really thought, these both the playoff games that are going on now, I really thought were going to be sweeps, and we would just move on.
Oh, 100%. I thought we were going to I say we. I mean, I took the Cubs under, as my team now for the playoffs.
Right.
And I had them going to, getting to the playoffs and getting the World Series from, the beginning of the season. I'm talking, back in, when spring training was still going on.
So February.
Yeah, basically. I was I think that this is it for the Cubs. We're going to have such an amazing year. And then once they took Chapman from the Yankees, I was like, this is it, man. They're set to win.
They're set.
They are stacked and ready to go. But, losing this game to the Dodgers last night is kind of a little low blow to me.
And it was a big loss, too.
Yeah,
Wasn't it 6 runs?
It wasn't just a little, it was just a heartbreak to me, really.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. I feel like this is the Yankees. I'd be a lot more heartbroken.
Exactly.
Solely because if I had such a stacked team like this and going into that game,
I know, and they're losing, and the Cubs are losing the series too. So they lost 1-0 for game 2 on Sunday, and then they lost yesterday 6-0.
Yeah, we need to step things up a bit. It just annoys me the fact that we get here and then we have to play the Dodgers and it's Clayton Kershaw and you know what I mean? They're stacked in their lineup too. But the Cubs I feel are stacked in their offense as well. Their offense is Rizzo and Bryant. They've been stepping up and doing big things. I mean, Rizzo hasn't really been doing much the past couple games, but they have been stepping up, and I just think if they I don't know who's pitching tonight. Tonight, Lackey and Uri. Oh, wow. Lackey's pitching tonight.
Oh, well, that should be an.
I mean, I'm a big Lackey fan too. Is he on the?
He's a good pitcher.
I have some stats, but I don't know if he's on for the pitchers. I have to check. I have to double check.
That's okay, but I mean.
But I mean, I mean, if you would have said back in even the summer, even if you would have said after the All-Star break, really it was going to be Cleveland, Toronto, Chicago, and the Dodgers
in the playoffs
and
in the championship series.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. For the ALCS and the NLCS, it's Cleveland versus Toronto and Chicago versus LA. I would have laughed in your face. I mean, I would have been okay, yeah, I can see. I mean, Chicago, I would have been yes, but the Indians.
The Indians came out of nowhere. I mean, as soon as they signed Andrew Miller. I think that was a done deal once they signed.
Yeah,
and then
is my mic up all the way too? I don't think my mic's all the way up. Is it up? Okay, good. Yeah, sorry, but
that's okay. No, it's also once they signed players during that trade season, I think all these teams started to.
Well, if you look at what's going on right now, if you look at the two teams, both in the ALCS and the NLCS, the two teams that are in it right now, Cleveland and Chicago, both got their closers from the
For the
Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have Andrew Miller right here.
He's been like lights out.
Okay,
Absolutely
so
lights
Andrew Miller right now is he's well, I mean it's pretty tied for first all of them, but like he's, no 0 ERA right now in the postseason.
I know.
As of right now,
That's
he's
ridiculous.
doing great, and like Chapman threw 103 the other day with movement. With movement. Do you know what that is?
I know. It's
I don't
crazy.
even know how they caught that. I don't even know how Ross caught that. He threw a curveball out, and it just like second it got to the plate, just like whiffed out to the right, and I was like, that might have been the craziest thing I've ever seen in life. 103 with movement is just ridiculous.
That's crazy because you don't see many pitchers today.
Excuse me. No, you don't.
Throwing 103 miles per hour.
And he is the top. Like, if you go on MLB.com and you go and check stats and you go, like, fastest pitches, it's all Chapman.
It
goes from 101 and up to, like, 104, 105, I think.
I think it's 105.
I think it's 105.1, right?
Yeah.
105.1 is his, like, top pitch. I think he was in the documentary Fastball, which is a great documentary. It's, like, the same thing as Knuckleball. But it just goes over like the science of the fastball and like its origination and everything like that. But he's in that, and it's a recent documentary made in 2016. It was after he threw that 105 pitch.
That was with the Yankees,
and there's a
right?
segment. Yeah, there's a segment. It's like 105.1, and it's just like I just want to know like where that power comes from. You know what I mean?
I know because he's he's very thin.
But you want to know what? He's not so thin. Like he's not like an Aaron. Like he's not like a Johnson thin, you know what I mean? Like he's like
a muscular thin. Like
he's
it's very
got
difficult.
big legs. He's got a big butt. He's got like not such a big upper body, but it's that like whip action that comes out.
Yeah,
it's just insane.
I'm wondering how he hasn't had a Tommy John surgery yet.
No, yeah. Oh my gosh. If you're throwing that much and you haven't thrown your arm out yet, that's
crazy.
Where are you getting gas from like that, though? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Where are you getting gas from that? Like, I really wanted. I've always had this. When he started pitching, I want to like just stand in the box. They say it's scary.
They said
like they've interviewed people. Like I
forget who it was, but they said somebody who faced him.
I think they interviewed Beltre and Andrew Beltre and I forgot who else, but. They said like it's the scariest thing ever. You just stand in there and just.
I think the Yankees I think he threw batting practice the one day, just like when he wasn't able to play because he was suspended.
Yeah.
A lot of the players said they like didn't want to get into the batter's box.
No, I would never want to get in the batter's box
against him.
I would never want to get in the batter's box. But I mean, I mean, going back to like and him being on the Chicago Cubs and Miller being on the Indians. But I mean, tonight, pitching wise, it's, I think, Marco Estrada. Yeah, it's Marco Estrada versus Ryan Merritt. Now, Ryan Merritt's interesting for the Indians because Ryan Merritt, this is only his second start in his, like, MLB, like, career.
Okay.
And it's Game 5
of the
NLCS.
That's right.
I mean, the ALCS. Excuse me, ALCS. It's only his second start.
They must have a lot of faith. Terry Francona must have a lot of faith in him.
Yeah, I mean, I would be, to tell you the truth, man, I would not have the faith. Yeah. If I was like an Indians fan, I mean, I'd be a little scared. He's going up against Marco Estrada too, so it's not like he's going up against like, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know.
That's going to be an interesting game because they start at 4:04.
I know, and I'm not even going to be able to watch it because I'm going to be working.
Yeah, they start at 4:08 today, and then the Cubs and the Dodgers start tonight at 8:08 on Fox Sports 1, and then the Cleveland game is on it's TBS and
How
TNT.
about Cleveland, man? Cleveland,
they
went so long without having any of their teams in any of sports go,
and then they have
the Cavs win, and now they might potentially have the Indians.
I think that would be very cool for the city of Cleveland. I mean, it's not like the greatest city
I just
in
think
the world,
it's funny that it's like it'll kind of take away from like, you know, LeBron James having to be the savior of like Cleveland, because if the Indians win, then it's like everybody's going to forget about the Cavs and be like, well, the Indians did it too, so.
Yeah, I think that would be funny.
Good for you, Cleveland. Good for you.
Good for
finally.
You, Cleveland. Yeah. I hope they win today, and then that series is over today. It's over if they win today, correct? Well,
If the Indians win,
yeah, because they're 3-1.
if the Indians win, yes, it would be.
And if-
yes, it'd
yeah.
be. It's a 3-1 series now. Yep. If they win, it's 4-1 and they win.
That would be nice.
Right. Yeah. That'd be really nice. I really want them to. I mean,
And I would like them to win it in Toronto too, just because the fans in Toronto get so into it, and I would want to see how the fans react to that one with their team losing at home.
I can't stand Toronto.
I don't think a lot of people can stand Toronto unless you're from there.
It's just like I just can't because they've literally just been so annoying ever since they got Troy Tulowitzki from Colorado.
And that's a
Well,
big
last
contract.
year was when they got Troy Tulowitzki. It was like that's when they kicked us out. The Yankees out, and I was just like, "You gotta be kidding me, man!" They get Troy, and it's like they get a stacked team, and I hate and
They've
there's
got
one thing
Jose
that I just can't stand.
Batista.
Yeah, they got
I can't stand Jose Batista.
and they got in
but-
Carson, but like that's
Yeah.
a whole other thing. But
And-
like the one thing that I can't stand is when people say like, "Oh, it's not just down to one player." It doesn't come down to one player, but one player's energy and
changes the
can change the entire
lock-
game.
It can change an entire locker room.
It can.
And I remember when Troy Tulowitzki got traded there. He wasn't happy to be traded there because he wanted to go to the Yankees.
Yeah,
And he was like, I always wanted to play for the Yankees.
I mean that's why he wears number 2 for Derek Jeter.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
And so I feel like, but the Yankees were never going to pick up his contract because it's way too big.
No,
His contract's insane.
exactly. And if you think about who we still
And
had
he has
big
so-
contracts on.
And he's so injury prone.
Yeah, he is.
But I mean, I could.
Just like Mark Teixeira. After a certain year, Mark Teixeira kind of just went down too. But we're not talking about that because the Yankees are not in the postseason.
Exactly. But there was something that came up on Yes Network today on my Facebook, and it said, "Will the Yankees go for Encarnacion after this is over because he's a free agent?" I was like, "They're not going to sign. Please tell me they're not going to sign a 33-year-old."
They would because
would.
they've done it before.
And how has that worked out? I mean,
No, it never works out.
It
We
doesn't.
always sign people after their prime or like just at the end of their prime when they still got a little something left, and then
They
come like the third year in their contract when
They
we have
dip.
them, they're just like getting injured and stuff.
Well, and that's the thing with Brian McCann. He's a great catcher, but offensively
he also
struggled.
has too much of an anger issue.
He really does. But
He
that's the
had
thing
that when he played. If you look at all the other teams when he played, like
with Atlanta.
with the Atlanta Braves, when this perfect example when Jose Fernandez hit that home run and he stood at the home plate, like Brian McCann was the one at home plate saying like you can't do that, like blah 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 blah, which you can't. I mean, but then again, that was Jose Fernandez's first home run, and he stood there like I can't believe I just hit a home run. You know what I mean? So then again, it's kind of just like whatever. But Brian McCann has been very prone to saying things, starting fights, and having
And
anger
they
issues.
signed him at what, 34 years of age?
Something like that.
He's
yeah, I
like
think so,
mid
around that.
to late 30s.
He
We
lives
don't
in Harrison. Fun fact. I know where he lives. Moved actually, but he lives in the same place Joe Girardi lives.
But we definitely I definitely think that if the Indians win tonight, it's going to be a definitely interesting World Series with whoever wins
So if-
between.
Okay, so if the Indians win tonight, they go in. So who are you predicting? Cubs, Dodgers then? Are you saying it's going to be an Indians Cubs kind of
I
thing?
really hope it's an Indians Cubs type of World Series, but I have a feeling the Dodgers are going to take it.
You think so?
I
really
do.
want to see it like an underdog series.
I would love
an
to see it.
underdog World Series, like the Cubs, who aren't an underdog.
Right.
I mean, their franchise itself is an underdog
It is.
with the history and everything and whatever. But the Indians, I mean, they had a really good season though. They went 94-67,
Which isn't
Blue Jays
bad.
are 89-73. But I mean, I just don't know.
You don't know?
I just don't know.
I don't know who
I just
would
want
take.
I just want the Cubs to win, but like it'd be really cool if Cleveland wins.
It would be really cool if Cleveland
Either
wins.
way, I just don't want it to be Dodgers
Just-
Blue Jays.
I really can't.
Or yeah.
I'm not a Dodgers fan, and I'm definitely not a Toronto fan, being
Yeah.
a Yankee fan.
Or Blue Jays Cubs. I would hate that
I would hate. Yeah, no.
because I don't want to watch the Blue Jays in the postseason.
Um,
Nor do I want to watch the Dodgers in the postseason. That's the thing. Like the only teams that I don't want to watch in the postseason are in the postseason. Like
Right.
the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. I can't stand both teams. Don't get me started on San Francisco.
Okay, I won't get you started, but when we come back, we're going to talk football. We're going to talk a little college football because there's a big headline that came out today with one of the college football teams.
Yep.
So when we come back, we'll talk about that.
Sounds good.